Beavemanites and Docutrons, assemble!
Okay, so back in the day, I was way above the wave, man. I traded in the girls for the video games. I played so much Super Smash Bros. And the kids called me.
All right, welcome, Beavemanites and Daughterbots. It is I, the Beavman, and this is Beavman and the Daughter, brought to you from the great founders of Renegade Beaver Studios, where we happen to be sitting right now. And with me, of course, is the daughter.
Hello.
And many of you might not know this, and even the daughter might not know this, but did you know that I invented the boxer brief?
Wow, did you?
I did. It was many years ago when I was working in the great state of Wisconsin, and I was wearing a pair of boxers, and I did not find that they were very comfortable. I felt that I needed more support. So for a period of time, I tried the brief as well. I didn't like the brief. It was too constricting. I felt I needed some sort of combination between the two. So yes, I invented the boxer brief.
Mentira.
What?
That means you lied.
Really?
Yes,
And why would you say that?
because you did not invent the boxer briefs.
Can you prove that I didn't invent boxer briefs?
I mean, I bet I could look it up someday, but not right now, no.
Okay. Well, what is the topic of discussion for Beavman and the Daughter today, daughter?
Why do we lie?
And why did we make this a Beavman and the Daughter episode?
Because I'm an expert at lying.
You are a self-professed master of the deceptive art known as lying.
Yes, I am.
What evidence do you have of your great deceptions?
Sometimes I lie and I don't even know that I'm lying.
You don't even know that.
It just kind of happens.
It just kind of happens?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, why do you think people lie? Do you think everybody lies?
Yes,
Like multiple times throughout the day?
yes.
Okay, I would agree with you. I think that people lie all the time. But do you think if we didn't lie, the world would be a better place?
No. We tell little white lies to make people feel better sometimes. And if we didn't tell those, then it kind of suck because nobody would be making people feel better. So,
Right, so like if you are wearing some ugly outfit and you ask your friends, how does my outfit look? And they say, oh, it looks great. But in their mind, they're like, that's a terrible outfit.
yeah, that's what I do a lot.
Do you think it's better to say, I'm not sure I would wear that?
I mean, it depends on what it would be and who you're with, because some people can take it as a not criticizing their dress or whatever, but they can take it like hard, and some people can take it as like a joke. So
Yeah, I guess it depends on what context in which you say it. Like if you're really nice about it and just say, hey, I don't know. I guess it would be hard to do and not say something mean. It's kind of hard to tell your friend that they look stupid or their outfit looks dumb. Maybe it's no, yeah, you look fine in that. It's just not something I would wear. I don't know. But I agree with you. I think people lie all the time.
yes.
And do you find that it's easier to lie to people that you know or the people that you don't know?
It's pretty easy to lie to both.
You feel like it's pretty easy to lie in general.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's kind of like a second nature kind of thing. It's like using the bathroom. Sometimes you really step in poo, but you gotta go along with it because it's just how it is, and you gotta use the bathroom because, well, I mean, you gotta live, right?
You step in poo when you go to the bathroom? Sometimes when I go to the bathroom, I step in poo. What does that mean? I don't know. You often step in poo when you go to the bathroom.
It's just a metaphor.
How's that a metaphor? What's that a metaphor for?
What's that a metaphor for?
Yeah, what is that a metaphor for?
Stepping in poo.
So but when you go to the bathroom, you step in poo?
It's metaphorically speaking. So, like, if I put my foot in the toilet.
Why would you put your foot in the toilet?
Why not? You know when you're, like, standing on the toilet to reach something and then, like, you fall in?
Wait a minute. Why? In what context would you need in your bathroom? You don't have like a shelf above your toilet, so why would you be standing on the toilet?
To fix the shower.
And then you've sometimes, so you stand on the toilet with the toilet seat up and you've fallen in the toilet?
I mean, living on the edge, right?
I guess. Okay. I don't know that I believe you. Have you actually ever fallen in the toilet?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. All right. I have nothing. I don't know what to say. How long ago was it that you fell in the toilet?
I don't know. I just know that I've done it before.
Are you sure, or is that one of the many lies that you've made up in your head to tell yourself that it's true?
No, I'm pretty sure I have.
Do you think that you've lied so much in the past that you actually believe your lie?
It depends on what it is. Sometimes, yes. For like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll have like a dream and I'll like fix it in my mind to like where it goes into my life. So I'll believe that, but that's not really a lie.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying like your dream becomes some sort of a reality of a memory?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could see that actually being a possibility. Do you feel like that would kind of translate also to, things that you think that you've done but that you didn't actually do?
Yeah, kind of.
Like, oh, I think I went here, but I never really did. It's just somebody told me about it and I've never been there before.
Yeah.
All right, that's possible. Well, let's go over some of the famous lies the daughter has told in the past. Oh, one of my favorite lies that you told, the daughter went to a school called the Montessori. And for those of you who don't know anything about the Montessori, it's kind of a nice little idea where they have an open education or open area for you to go over random subjects, whatever you happen to be interested in at the time. And then they've got like a little facilitator there, their teacher, who kind of directs their learning. So it's a good place to go. They have lots of very interesting experiences there. So it wasn't uncommon for the daughter to come home and say, oh, I worked on maps today and I learned about this today. So lots of really interesting things. But sometimes it's hard to believe some of the things she would say as a young child. For example, one day she came home and explained to us that she'd been eating rabbit, that her teacher had made her eat rabbit. And we know for a fact that she did not eat rabbit. Why would you say? No, you did not eat rabbit, because we asked your teacher specifically, and she said that you did not eat rabbit.
Hey, she could have lied.
Why would she lie about you eating rabbit?
Why not? So she could feed me more rabbit.
Because they had a surplus of rabbit to get rid of.
I mean, if you got a rabbit problem, right?
So you think, so not only do you think that you possibly actually ate rabbit, you believe in your mind that they trapped or hunted rabbit on the lot of Montessori school and then dressed the rabbit out and then cooked it.
It's possible, yes.
It is possible, but it is not very likely.
I mean, Gary was pretty out there. I mean, he could have just done anything he wanted.
So you think that the guy who worked there, who was also a teacher, just randomly brought in rabbit for you guys to eat?
Yes.
But yet denies it when we asked them about it, jokingly. They had a good laugh about it. So you think that the laugh that they had about your lie was actually them saying, ha, 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 yes, we actually did feed her
Yes.
So now you think they were lying.
Yes.
So it's a counter lie.
Yes.
And what would they have to gain by lying?
They could feed me more rabbit.
I don't think they had a surplus of rabbit.
I think they do.
So now you've actually believed your own lie.
Yes.
Okay. What age do you think that you started lying?
Oh, right as I came out the womb. Right as I started talking.
Well, you didn't start talking as soon as you came out.
I feel like I did.
Well, I mean, we all feel like you did. But you did not start talking as soon as you came out the womb.
Okay, when I was 1.
So did you know, and I'm sure this is pretty accurate, that we start lying or we start acting deceptively as early as the age of 6 months?
Really? Doing what?
Oh, things like, and you can see this too with you if you're around babies, they're kind of deceptive. It's not uncommon to see like a baby cry for a brief minute and then look around to see if anyone notices. And then if they notice that somebody else is noticing, they'll start crying again so they can get attention. But if nobody notices or nobody pays attention, they'll stop.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those videos where you're holding a baby and the person who's holding them has like something in their hand and the baby smacks it out of their hand and they go, uh-oh, and like acting like they accidentally did it. That's funny.
It is funny. But they'll do things like laugh too. They'll laugh just to see if it will. Obviously nothing funny is going on, but they'll laugh to see if they can make everybody else laugh or whatever. But I think that that's not uncommon, but it's not something you can prove. You can't really prove that baby's lying or is deceptive. But clearly it's inborn in us. It's ingrained in us to be liars and deceptive. for example, it's probably, they say that we really start lying pretty frequently at the age of like 2.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why do you think a 2-year-old would lie?
Well, if they peed themselves and they don't want to get in trouble, they're just gonna be
How did that happen?
I just
That's not
sat
my
in
pee.
a puddle.
I sat in water. Actually, I think that's one of those things that you used to say. It was, oh, I sat in water, but it was in the front and it wasn't in the back.
I've done that, actually. I did that in 6th grade.
Well, hopefully nobody you know listens to this podcast and knows who you are.
I hope
I think that's probably a common lie that our children will say that I didn't pee myself. I sat in a puddle of water, but all the pee's in the front, so that makes no sense.
you did the splits in the water.
Even then, that would be really hard to do. Okay, well, so at the age of 2, let's say that they start lying. Probably all the types of lies you tell when you're that young would be for your own personal gain.
Yes.
So you lie, maybe mom gave you a cookie, and then your dad asks you, hey, did your mom give you a cookie?
No.
No, of course not. So then you get a cookie from dad.
Yeah.
So everything that the 2-year-old might lie about is probably mostly for personal gain or to divert any type of behavior that they think is negative away from them.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else have you done? Okay. So we used to do a little bit of rock climbing when you were very young. Probably like 4 or 5 years old. Back when you had no fear, you would just scale the walls. You were pretty young to be rock climbing, and there were people of all ages who rock climbed. Young people, college kids, that sort of thing. You used to like to hang out with the college kids when we would go rock climbing. Well, there was other kids there, and at one point in time, there was this older boy who was climbing, and he was like 10 or 11. I think he was actually more like 12. And you lied about your age. You actually told him that you were 7 or 9 years old, and you didn't tell him how old you were. Of course, he knew you were not that old. He knew you were a little kid, and he basically laughed at you because I can remember it. Because I overheard you. You didn't tell us about that. Your mom, for some reason, thinks that you told us that. You didn't tell us that. I heard you saying it, and I was laughing my head off. But at that age, what could you possibly gain from telling some... Actually, you said it like this, too. He told you your age, and you said, actually, I'm this. And you said, like, 9 or whatever.
Well, I said I was a smart kid, so I can lie very easily, and I can make it sound like the truth.
Did you think that people who lie say things like, actually?
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Because if somebody actually asked you your age, it's pretty easy to say, okay, I'm 46. Instead of saying, actually, I'm this age.
Well, if he was telling me my age, say like, it was like, oh, you're like 4. Actually, I'm like 12.
What happened was you asked him how old he was, if I remember correctly, because he was climbing, and he said like 12 years. He was like 12 years old. Your mom said he's like 10. I'm like, no, he was like 12. And you said, oh, actually, I'm 9, or something like that.
I was probably contradicting the voice in my head. Because it was like, you're 5, say that. Actually,
that's possible. Maybe in your head, that alter ego of yours was saying that you're not that old. And you're like,
wow.
no, actually, I'm 9. Let's see. You were about 8 or 9 years old, and I think everybody does this. And you cut the front of your hair down all the way to your scalp. And then you swore up and down that you didn't cut your hair and you didn't know how it got there.
Wrong. That is the wrong time. Actually.
You've cut your hair more than once?
Yes.
Okay, well, explain your thought process on your lying.
Okay, so the one where I cut my hair down to my scalp was by my forehead, and that was probably in... Oh, that might have been 5th grade. 5th or 6th grade. Because I had a baby hair and I didn't like it there, and I figured cutting it would make it disappear.
What's a baby hair?
It's like the hair that's smaller than the rest of your hairs, and it's like, it's not a bang, but it like hangs in front of your face and it's annoying.
Okay, but if you cut that, it takes time for it to grow back in.
I did not know that. That's why I cut it. I didn't know that. Okay, and then the one that
then let's get back to why would you lie about it then?
Why not?
Because why would you think that we wouldn't know that you cut your hair?
You thought it was hair breakage, so joke's on you.
No, I thought that's why you broke your hair. That's why you cut your hair. When you cut your hair, it is breakage. you're more susceptible to hair breakage. And besides, whenever I tell you I believe you, I don't believe you. That's me lying back to you.
Well, that makes me feel mad because you told me
It's
you believe
true.
me a lot.
Yeah, but I
Anyway,
don't. As soon as I'm not around you anymore, I tell your mom you're lying.
Anyway.
And then I say, wait, give it a day or two and she'll tell us that she was lying. Or we'll catch her in her lie.
But some of the times you don't because I don't lie about certain stuff.
Well, how do you know when it is that I'm thinking that you're not lying and when you are?
You think I'm always lying.
No. I
Yes.
think you're lying a good percentage of the time, but not always. Nobody can
About
always
60,
lie.
No
No one can always lie. No, you can't. That is not true. You
That
can't.
was a lie. Boom. You just got
But it's still not
schooled.
always. It's still not always. What I think is funny, and I'm sure most children do this, you actually lie. Your brother, for example, can't lie. He's a horrible liar.
Yes, I'm aware.
He just starts to smile when he lies. And so he's always been very easy to pick out when he's lying. So therefore, any lies, he was never very good at any major, definitely couldn't do any major lies. He's very honest in that respect. I mean, I'm sure he does little fibs and little white lies or whatever that are completely harmless like the rest of us do.
Like, he would do that to make me believe something because I'm very gullible. So he would do that to make me.
Yeah, just ridiculous lies
Yeah.
that like my parents would tell me when I was a kid or silly things like that. Like my father insisted that he told me this lie forever when I was a kid, younger than you. I don't know, probably like 7 or 8, that you had to be 21 years old to have a Whopper at Burger King. So he would get very he would really take this lie too far because every time we would go to Burger King, he would get a Whopper. I'd get whatever little kitty cheeseburger that you could get. And then what he would do was he would look around to see if anyone was watching, and then he would sneak me a piece of Whopper. He'd be like, here, take this piece of Whopper. Don't let anyone see because it's illegal for you to have it because you're younger than 21. And I would take it fully panicking, thinking that I was going to get in trouble for eating a Whopper, and I'd hide it, being all scared, and then I'd secretly eat that piece of Whopper. And this went on forever. And you know what happened?
Someone offered you a Whopper?
What happened was we went to Burger King one day, and my older brother ordered a Whopper.
Oh, and he's not that much older than you.
No, he's only 3 years older than me. And when he ordered it, I thought like the secret police were going to bust through the doors and say, you're under arrest. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? You can't order a Whopper. You're 21. And he's like, you freaking idiot. That's a lie. That's not true. You've just fallen for one of Dad's lies. And obviously when you're that young, you feel like you've been lied to for years.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it wasn't that long. I mean, how long was he? I don't know. And to this day, I remember that deceitful lie, and I still hold it against him to this day.
Yeah. Okay, back to the hair thing. Oh, wait, no, you were talking about my brother.
No, yeah, okay. Go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, well, back to the hair thing. The one that you're talking about was we got home from the hair salon that day, and I was downstairs playing around, and I was like, oh, I want bangs. And so I took the scissors, I went into my brother's bathroom, and I was like, oh, snippity, snippity, snippity. And, well, that was not where you're supposed to cut bangs. I did it right above my ear. And I cut this giant chunk out. And so then the next time that we went to, well, I had to cover it up all those times. I wore headbands, I did all this other stuff. And then the next time we went to the hair place, we cut my hair to where that was, which was about a little bit below my ear. Yeah, so.
You look super cool.
I did not. No, I didn't.
Well, this one kind of reminds me of my own personal story also. How about the time, and this is the thing though, is when we ask you about your lies, you get really defensive and you get really angry, which means we know for a fact that you're lying, for one thing. And you get really angry, and then you start crying, and we're like, oh yeah, she's lying. And then you go like, I'm not lying, I'm crying because you don't believe me.
Okay, but sometimes you don't believe me, and that's why I cry, because sometimes I'm actually not lying.
What's really funny is you said sometimes I'm not lying.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, you said sometimes.
I know, most of the time
which
I do lie.
means most of the time that you're
Yes.
lying.
Yes, most of the time I am lying.
All right, tell us about the time that you shaved your eyebrows and then denied it even after being shown pictures of your eyebrows before and after you did it.
Well, okay, so that was the night before you found out. So the night before you found out, my eyebrows, so everybody used to make fun, they still do sometimes, make fun of me because my eyebrows are super bushy because they're really full and they grow fast.
And they're jealous because bushy eyebrows are what people want, so they can manipulate them however they want to manipulate them. If you got thin eyebrows, you're screwed.
Anyway, so that night, I took my new razor that my mom had bought me for shaving my armpits, you know. I took it and I shaved, like, I meant to just shave, like, the bottom, like, near your eyeball to, like, get rid of extra hairs. But I ended up shaving, like, the tip off. And so, like, it was down to, like, a third of my eyeball, like, 3/4 of my eyeball. And it looked like a caterpillar had just taken a rest on my face. And then, so then I went to bed and nobody had noticed it that night, which was really weird because I thought you guys would. And nobody had noticed it. And I went to bed and then I got up that morning for school. And I walked upstairs and Mom was sitting there and she goes, "What happened to your face?" And I was like, "I didn't do anything." She goes, "Come here." And I was like, "I didn't do anything." She goes, "What did you do to your eyebrows?" I said, "I didn't do anything." And she said, "Did you, like, take scissors and cut them?" And I said, "No," which was not a lie because I did not take scissors and cut them.
She just didn't ask you the right question.
And then she said, "Did you take tweezers and cut them?" "No." And then she was like, "Wait, I gave you that razor." And she was like, "Did you shave your eyebrows?" I was like, No. And this lie went on for about an hour, and then I started crying, and then she's like, "Did you shave your legs too?" Because at that point, I wasn't supposed to be shaving my legs because I was like 9. So, no, yeah, 9, around. And yeah. So that was an interesting day. And
But that particular lie that you insisted that you did not do, though we had proof, how long did it take you before you finally admitted that you did it?
About to this day.
No, it was days. You kept saying that, and because I got sick of it, I'm like, okay, she didn't do it, which is obvious that you did.
Well,
When I said, well, no, give her a chance for her to say that she did it, because that's what you do. You usually, on average, when you were younger, you would give it like 2 days of insisting that your lie was true, and then you'd say, okay, yeah, I did this.
I feel like I said something else. I don't think I told you I shaved it. I think I told you something else. But I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, but it was obvious that you shaved it.
Yeah, but I swear I told you something else. I swear I told you I did something else. But I know I shaved it.
I think one of my biggest lies when I was a kid was always lying about playing with fire. We used to, now when I was a kid, I don't know if it's true or I don't even know if they sell this hairspray anymore, but there was this hairspray, and what was it called? Aquanet? I think it was called Aquanet. And it was super, super flammable. So we would like spray it on. We would like wrap our arrows with toilet paper at the tips and then spray it with like Aquanet and then light it on fire and shoot flaming arrows. Or we would spray Aquanet like into a can and then throw a match in there. And one time what happened was I had my trash can and I sprayed a bunch of Aquanet in there and then I threw the match in there expecting it to go up really fast and it didn't go up. So I was like, what the heck happened? So I went to get the match out and look over the top of the can, and at that moment it ignited and it burned a bunch of my eyebrows.
Oh.
And so that my eyebrows were really burnt. And of course my parents asked me about it. They're like, what happened to your eyebrows? I'm like, nothing. Like, did you burn your eyebrows? I'm like, no.
Well, I mean.
But they pretty much dropped it because apparently they didn't care.
Well, I mean, some people don't care. Like, my friend, she can cut her hair all she wants. It's her hair, so her mom doesn't really care.
I guess. It's not like we cared that you cut your eyebrows. It was the fact that if you remember,
lied.
we were laughing our heads off at you.
Oh yeah, because I was like, stop laughing at me.
Because it was so obvious that you cut your eyebrows and you looked so ridiculous with half of an eyebrow. And you insisted that you had done nothing to your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get mad at you except when you continued with your lie. We're like, you clearly cut your eyebrows. No, I didn't.
Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
How about your altering of your favorite your shirt that I got you that had the Hulk on it when you cut the bottom off of it and insisted that you didn't cut it?
And then I cutted the arms off too.
Well, by then, when you look at it like when you get a little bit older, we don't care. Obviously, if you want to cut the sleeves off of your shirt, nobody really cares. But when you're little, that means you're playing with scissors for no apparent reason.
Scissors.
And you cut the bottom off of your shirt and then insisted that you didn't cut it off.
I know the reason why I did cut that shirt though.
Because you wanted to tie it at the side?
No.
That's what you ended up doing. You cut it even more.
No, I cut it straight across. It just looked jagged. I did that because you know those tags where you think they can like come off super easily because they're like plastic?
Sure.
So normally those come off super easily for me. So this one, I was pulling and pulling and pulling, and it didn't come off. And then I kept pulling and pulling and pulling, and I ripped a hole. And so this hole was huge. And so I cut the shirt so that the hole didn't look bad.
When you could have just had me sew the shirt.
Why would I do that?
Because there's a hole.
Why
would you cut the bottom off the shirt?
Well, then it's now a crop top. There you go.
Okay, but then why lie about it?
I don't know.
I mean, what could, in your mind, let's think back that. In your mind, what could be your possible explanation for the bottom of your shirt to all of a sudden be missing, but you didn't cut it off? What would be the logical explanation for that to have happened?
I have two. One, the dog chewed it. Or two,
the dog chewed it straight across the bottom and took it off.
It was pretty jagged. Or two, it fell into the paper shredder.
It fell into the paper shredder. And you think that cloth would get chewed up in the paper shredder. You think it would just get taken off.
Well, I mean, because you know how it like shreds it and like it puts it into little lines? Then it would just look ugly. So then I would have to cut it.
Oh, yeah. I think that the original shirts that have the little, what do you call it, the fringes at the bottom?
Yes.
I think they originally made those in paper shredders.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No, they didn't. No, they sure didn't.
Oh. Well, I mean, sorry. Not really, but yeah.
How about when you wear makeup and then you insist that you don't do it, but then you cry when you're having an argument about defending your own personal lie?
Okay, so that story, I was about 9 or 10. And so most of these really big lies happened when I was 9 or 10. And so I think, in your bathroom, and I locked myself in there because Mom was shopping and you were probably working out. And I was like, oh, makeup time. Nobody's here. I'm going to just play with some makeup because Mom has a lot of it. And so I took some eyeshadow, I put it on, and then I tried to I only put eyeshadow on, and a little bit of lip gloss. And then, so you guys came out, and then I came out for dinner, and Mom was like, what's on your face? And I was like, nothing. Like, why are you...
What's on your face?
Yeah, what's on your face? And she says, did you play with my makeup? And I said, no, I don't like makeup. You made me wear it for dance recitals. That's the only time I wear makeup. And so,
which again is providing too much detail that has nothing to do with the question that you were asked, which means when you start providing too much detail, most likely you're lying.
Sometimes, depending on what it is. And so then we were sitting at the dinner table, and like the lighting is different in there, so you can see things way better for certain things. And so she was like, oh, she definitely is wearing makeup. And I was like, no, I'm not. And I started to cry. And so the makeup is now streaming down my face. And I go and get a tissue, and I realize, oh no, if I wipe my eyes, it smudges everywhere. But I did it anyway. And so makeup is everywhere. And Mom's like, I told you she took my makeup. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to play with the makeup. And scary times.
But if you're lying as a young child, why would you think that there has to be some plausible explanation? So if you say, I didn't put makeup on my face, but it's clear that makeup is on your face, then in your own mind, how do you justify there being makeup on your face if you didn't put it there?
The dog did it.
How would the dog put makeup on your face?
She's
She doesn't have
talented.
opposable thumbs.
So?
So,
She could have held it in her mouth.
and
I
that
could have
you
put
think-
my face all over
so
her.
again, as a child, if you think that's a plausible explanation for why you would have makeup on your face, do you see what I'm saying? As you get older, a plausible explanation needs to make more sense than when you're a kid. There's a funny example that they use. Okay, there used to be one of the trained gorillas. I think his name was Coco or whatever, and Coco had a kitten. So this is like one of Jane Goodall's gorillas that was trained in sign.
Oh, okay.
And the gorilla gets really mad one day for some reason and had a sink in its room or whatever, and it ripped the sink off the wall. So then they asked the gorilla, what happened to your sink?
The kitten did it.
Yeah, and Coco says, cat did it. So how ridiculous is that a giant gorilla blames a sink getting ripped out of the wall on the cat?
You never know their strengths.
I guess, but again, it shows that as you get older, when you lie, the lie has to make sense. The explanation of the lie has to make sense. So as the older we get, they're like, okay, is that plausible or not?
Yeah.
You have to be able to justify in your mind that something may have occurred other than what people are saying that you're lying about.
Yeah, I get that.
But then as you get older, though, I think that unless it's a simple lie, you have to be able to have continuity with the lie that you're telling.
So like, no, I didn't shave my eyebrows. I cut them. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're trying to answer a polygraph test and the guy testing you is like, did you cut your eyebrows? And you're like, no. And
No.
Because you didn't. You're like, I didn't cut them. I shaved them. So I'm not lying because the question was,
Did you cut them?
did you cut them? I guess what I'm saying is more likely if you were, well, let's use crime as an example. Let's say that someone accuses you of shoplifting. Okay, and they don't have any evidence. You don't have that item on you, but you stole it. You could come up with a lie regarding where you were at what time or whatever, but you'd have to always be consistent with that lie. So in other words, to really get away with that lie would have to be the truth in your brain so that you always had continuity with telling the lie,
Yeah.
which to me would be super difficult.
Yeah.
I think even simple lying is super difficult. For example, let's take the fact that, okay, so I do a contract work as a nurse practitioner, and every time I get an assignment, for some reason, they still want to ask me questions that they would ask somebody that they're hiring permanently. And they'll always ask questions like, oh, why do you want to work here? I'm like, well, the honest answer is,
I need a job.
I need a job and I need money. But they want to hear things about, oh, you have a great organization that has a great reputation, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not true. The truth of the matter is I just need a job because I have to be able to provide for my family and have income, which I don't understand why they ask these stupid questions. Unless they want a stupid answer, but I don't give them a stupid answer. I give them the answer that they want to hear, which is lying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But like back to what we said, when do you see more examples of lying more mainstream now? Like, do you see a lot of lying in your day-to-day life?
Yes.
Where do you think you see the most of it?
Oh,
Other than the lies that you tell,
Oh.
where do you see them? Do you perceive that people lie to you often?
Yes.
Okay. Give us some examples.
Oh, I love your haircut. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, it looks terrible. She looks like Dora.
So, Pete, you think people don't like your haircut?
Yes.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. I feel like I look like Dora.
Yeah, you don't look like Dora. You don't look like a Dora. Have you seen Dora's haircut? You don't have Dora's haircut.
Well, I don't have bangs. That's about it.
Your hair's not that short either. Any other lies that you think you come in contact with? Like, do you think your teachers lie to you?
Yes.
Do you have any examples of the lies that they tell?
Like our first hour teacher, she's like, "Oh, you're my favorite class." No, that's a lie. You know it. But you know, you can't really say that because they're like, oh, we can't pick favorites. But then they say that anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they ever threaten you guys about doing anything wrong because it'll go on your permanent record? Have you ever heard that before?
I've heard about that for, like, suspension in, like, certain areas, I guess. Like, if we were in high school and we got suspended, yeah, that might go on your whoa, what is that word?
Permanent?
Yeah, permanent record. So.
Yeah, well, I know after I got out of the Army, when I first entered college, they brought that up when I was having my admissions counseling. They said, oh, I see here that you got suspended in 5th grade.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No, they didn't. Because they don't care. There's no such thing as a permanent record as far as we know.
Really?
Where would they keep them?
Oh my gosh.
You mean every permanent record? You mean every record of anybody who's ever gone to school up till now is stored somewhere?
I figured it was in heaven.
I mean, how long have we had the cloud? It ain't been that long. So you mean to tell me everybody that's ever gone to a public school or school has a permanent record and the schools just keep them in some massive storage facility?
That's what I thought.
Of course not. You know what they do keep? They do keep like your SAT scores.
Oh, well, I'm going to be fine on that.
So if you ever need like your SAT or your ACT scores, your high school does have them.
Yeah.
Even if it's been 30 years. I had to get mine not too long ago and have them sent off for some reason.
Don't they ask them for, like, your college stuff?
Like when you go to college, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll send this stuff to your college.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. What else have you lied about to us? Oh, how about you're always lying about taking your mom's clothing?
Well,
and then we find it.
She takes my stuff, too.
So?
Like, my socks.
Yeah, but she doesn't lie about it. Your mom doesn't take your socks. Your mom's got like 500 pairs of socks.
She still takes mine.
No, she doesn't.
We have the same Adidas socks. She said she would give me all of hers because it's got confusing, and she still wears my socks.
Well, but they were originally hers.
But they should have been mine.
Well, I think that probably she hasn't worn all of them yet, and they haven't been washed yet for you to get them yet.
Why haven't you worn all of them yet?
Who knows? I don't think that's the same thing.
Well, I just like to wear her stuff.
What about your lies about the usage of toilet paper?
Okay, seriously?
Yes, please tell us the toilet paper story.
Okay, so Mom likes to use my bathroom whenever we're downstairs because she doesn't want to walk upstairs. And so sometimes when she goes in there, I don't have toilet paper. And this is only sometimes because most of the time I run out of paper that day. But sometimes I run out of paper like the day before. And I'm just too lazy to go upstairs and get more toilet paper.
So if you don't have toilet paper, well, how are you wiping yourself after you pee?
I don't.
You can't shake it.
It goes in your underwear.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
I mean, yeah. It's not like it's gonna show that you pee yourself. It's just one little drip.
Uh-huh.
Respect the drip, Karen.
What?
It's a vine.
Okay. What other lies do you tell? Why do you think you lie?
I already told you. It's second nature.
But what do you have to gain by lying?
I don't have anything to gain.
So you're just doing it.
I'm just doing it for fun. Sometimes.
Uh-huh. Well, what about the people who lie to you? You think it's okay for them to lie to you?
I mean, if they're like, oh, you look so good today, and I really don't, then yeah. I'm okay with them lying to me about that.
Well, tell us about your assignment that you failed to do today.
What?
What was the assignment that I gave you about lying that you were supposed to do today?
Oh, I thought you meant like homework, because I have to do my vocab. I was supposed to write down every lie that I said today, but I totally forgot.
But you finally came up with someone. So tell us one lie that you came up with today.
I did?
In the car, you told me about a lie that you told today.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. You said you farted.
Oh, okay. So my friend, he sits next to me in my Spanish in my algebra class, and I farted today in Spanish class. And keep in mind, I am sitting with my legs wide open because that's how I sit. And I fart, and you can hear it. It's like a little... it vibrates off the chair. And so, like, the whole 5 people that sit in a circle around me, they all look at me. And I'm like, what? And they're like, did you just fart? I'm like, no, freaking Jalen just farted. And they're like, Jalen. I'm like, oh, I didn't do it. So, yeah.
And what'd your friend do?
He went along with it.
What do you mean he went along with it?
Like, he was like, oh, my bad. It's like, yeah.
So do you think that he went along with it just for fun, or you think he actually thought that he farted?
I don't know.
Because if he actually thought that he farted, that's pretty sad. Like, how do you not know if you're the one who farted or not?
I do that a lot, though. I'll blame my farts on other people. I used to do that with my friend in my English class, because we would always be sitting next to each other because, I don't know, we'd always get paired to sit next to each other. And this time I was very gassy, and the fart was like... Oh, it was so funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, Armand. And he was like, what? I was like, dude, did you just like rip it? And I was like, he was like, no. And I was like, bro, I totally heard you. Like, I can smell it. He was like, that wasn't me. And I was like, it was you.
Well, you know the rule, right?
No. You smelt it, you dealt it?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't smell it at first. I just heard it.
Still the same concept. Clearly, you're the one who did it. Yo, you doth protest too much, meaning that you're the one who did it.
Well, I mean, or this one girl, she farts and she'll be like, excuse me.
So she just totally owns it. She's like, yeah, excuse me. All right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Or like it'll radiate through the entire classroom because it's a big fart and it's just like, and it just goes on for like 30 seconds and she's like, oh, excuse me.
It's gotta be horrible to be a teacher, because I would just be sitting there going, you freaking beasts. You disgusting little monkeys. That's all I would be thinking the whole time.
It sounds like an innocent, oh, excuse me. Like, it's just so innocent. It's so funny.
Like, I just had a mocha latte.
Forgive me for my sin of farting in this classroom.
You gotta be impressed that she owned it, though.
She owns a lot of things, though.
See, back in my day, I was never one of those school farters. But there were a lot of them in my day in classrooms, and they would just do it constantly to like try to smoke everybody out, to gas everybody out. And you know, our teachers would get so mad that they're like, "Will you stop freaking?" And it would be like just a battle of guys farting at each other. It was so disgusting.
That's how it is with burping now at lunch. Well,
Oh, they did that too.
Yeah.
They did that too.
It starts out with the littlest burp from the innocent kid, and it's just like a little and then the rest of us go oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, it would be horrible to teach children. Disgusting monkeys. That's all they are. Little beasts.
Yup.
So, do you think that you're going to parlay your skill of lying into any type of profession?
How would I do that? Is that like a job? Can I sign up right now? I'm
That's
really
what I'm saying.
good.
Do you think that you're going to continue to be lying or honing your skills as your self-proclaimed expertise as a deceptive artist or master of the deceptive arts?
If I could figure out a job that would take me if I just lied all the time,
It'll probably
yeah.
be politics.
No, I'm not really good with politics. I don't really like that. I'd be a good liar for the criminal, but I mean, I wouldn't really want to put a criminal out there, so...
You mean a lawyer?
Yeah.
Well, that's different from politics. You don't have to be a lawyer to be a politician.
Oh.
Anybody can be a politician.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our current president. He ain't no lawyer. Well, what we're going to be doing then is this first little episode is all about the lying. The next episode will be most likely with Beef Man and the Doc, where we'll be talking about the science behind lying. From me, the Beef Man, here in Renegade Beaver Studios, I am saying adios. Thanks for listening. Are you going to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Pika pika.